Good day, everyone. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. And on today's class, I'll be taking how to apply material to your model. So from the other class, from class one, we've been working on a particular model. So I'll just load in the file. Okay, just load in the file from here and you start applying materials immediately. Okay, so yeah, this is the model. This is the model we worked on the first class. So in case you haven't watched my first video, you can just check that out on my channel. So just like I explained in the first class about the interface of Lumion. So the materials, if you want to add materials to your model, this is where you check it out. You have materials and you just place your cursor wherever you want the material to be applied to. So okay, quickly I'll just start applying materials. Okay, when you click on a particular part you want to apply a model, it brings this panel out, and you have different type of materials. You have 2D grass, you have 3D grass, leaves, woodland, rock, soil, and for the indoor you have fabrics, you have plastic, you have stone, you have glass, you have leather, tiles, wood, metal, different ones just based on what you want. But for this class I'm making use of I'll make use of this. Okay, yeah, so I'll make use of this. So once you apply this type of material to your face, you can now edit them again. And how do you do this? You just double click on the particular material that have been chosen, you double click on it. Then you have a lot of features here that you can work with. Also, you can change the color here. Then the relief is not so obvious. Then the reflectivity, glossiness of the material, the displacement of the material, and the scale of the material. You can either increase it or reduce it. So for the color, depending on what you want, you can just change your color from here. You can change your color from here as it varies. Then you can take your color around based on what you want. If it's blue you want, you can see. But I'll just stick to what was there before, and just increase the scale a bit. So yeah, for the model, one thing I do is once I create my model either in SketchUp or in Revit, I do my best possible to assign materials to every part of the model. I assign material to every part of the model. Just like this. From Revit I knew this was gonna be the same as this. So I applied the same material for them each time. And for the glass, definitely the glass has to have the same material, so they have the same material. So you try as much as possible to apply material to every part of the building. So for the glass, you can select. There are different type of glass that you can select from. You can select a bit of glass, but for me I make use of pure glass. So you just come here new and create pure glass. Then you can tweak the pure glass from here. And most of the time I use a bit of dark glass. Then the reflectivity bit, then the transparency definitely has to be transparent a bit. Then the glossiness, I use the glossiness. Then frostiness, if you want a frosted glass, you can just apply it a bit. Then the scale is not so necessary because it doesn't have any bump. At all, so the scale is not really necessary. So yeah, this is what it's gonna look like. Let me just increase the transparency a bit, the color and the reflectivity. So this is what it's look like now. And for this major material, that's where where you have the white walls. I'll retain it as white, but still, whenever I have white walls like this, I just make it a standard material such that it's just plain white, and you I try to reduce the glossiness, the reflectivity. Also, there's no displacement for it. It's just a plain white, base. And then the relief also, most of this it doesn't work since it's just a plain material, except your material was imported from Revit. If you have a material existing there, and you can see and tweak it from here. But for this model, there are no material, it's just plain. So you just this relief, the reflectivity, the relief isn't much of a change, and the displacement also. So what I will do is just increase the glossiness and just reduce the reflectivity, just to make the white glossy a bit. It's not gonna be too much. So I'll just put that over there. Then for this gray, I'll retain the gray. Just like I said, you can make use of this also, reduce the reflectivity and the glossiness. A normal wall won't shine so much. Or better still, if you are going to use, you can make use of this. You can make use of the plaster material, either the plaster material or the concrete material. So based on what you want it to look like. So you can increase the color from here, make it darker a bit. And if you zoom in, you'll notice there are some bump. There are bump on the wall. And how do you fix that? How do you tweak the bump? You can tweak the bump from here also. You can either reduce or increase the scale from here. Okay, you can reduce it. At the same time, you can increase it from here. So I'll just reduce it to the minimum. So it won't be so obvious, but it has just a bit of displacement. And for the displacement, you can just tweak it a bit. For the displacement, it just shows more details on the wall. Just a bit of displacement. Okay, so and basically I won't be adding a lot of material to this model. Okay, let me just change this to let's make use of aluminium. Okay, I'll be making use of aluminium. So in aluminium, you check in indoor, then metal, then aluminium. Okay, I'm just gonna assign aluminium to it and make it dark, a bit darker. So just and I'll reduce the reflectivity and the glossiness. Just make it gloss a bit. Still reduce the reflectivity, and basically that's all. And I'll also make this black also, aluminium, then black. Then I reduce the reflectivity and the glossiness also. Increased. Yeah. So just in case, for example, you have this material here and you don't want to go all the way, and don't go all the way trying to like tweak the same material, since this material is the same with this. You just use this, then you can easily copy your material, then come over here, click on the material you want to paste it on, then you paste. So that's that. You can just copy materials and paste if you want it somewhere else. And for this also, okay, these are lights, these are wall lights. I'll just use standard, just retain that color, reduce the reflectivity a bit, the glossiness, just make it glossy a bit. So one thing I do is for the lights I make use of exactly what's there, and most of the time it's usually glass, but I just change it to standard, then just make this color. This is the color I use for my lights most of the time. Lights, then you come to settings, then you increase the emissive effect. The emissive effect of that glass, so it applies for both this and this, because I had assigned the material already from Revit, so that works. Then for the doors, I'll just make it a bit darker. Reflectivity, I just reduce the reflectivity and keep the glossiness there. And the glass, I can notice it, there's a bit of glass in between the door, so I can just make it dark a bit too, or I'll just probably retain it as blue. Just make it blue, light blue. Then for the handle, I'll just make use of a metal, probably chrome. Yeah, I'll make use of chrome. Then if you notice the surface, it's kind of having some pattern that I don't like, so I'll just reduce the scale. And if you notice the edges are not curved enough. They are they are not smooth. So I'll just come to weathering. So you go to weathering, then you see edges, then you notice smoothness. But when you make it too much, it looks weird. So you can just increase the edges a bit. You notice the edges are quite smooth now. And also for walls generally in real life, all edges are not perfect. They are not 100% perfect. So most of the time, all my materials, I increase the edges a bit. For this one, I'll just give it a bit of zoom in. Just give it a bit. Let me increase it there and you see what it looks like. This is so much, So I just make use of the edges a bit. I just increase the edges a bit, so it won't look unrealistic. So this is what it looks like. Glossiness, reflectivity. Okay, I think that's too dark. Just okay, yeah, I think that's fine. So this is what it looks like. This is what it looks like. Lumion has quite a lot of materials, so it depends on how you want it. Basically the materials are more helpful for interiors, but today we're working on exterior alone. So I'll just be touching materials that I'll be making use for exterior renderings. Okay, so I think that's too dark. Okay, that's fine. And for the lighting, okay, I think I placed this light here in the other class. Which that's the first class. I placed the light here. So I'll just add a bit of light, you know, to the exterior. So once you want to add light, you just come here and you just drop your lights wherever you want it. Once you're able to drop the light, you can increase the width. Increase the width. I'll try and centralize this and increase the width, the width. And this is also for the length. That's the length. It's what it looks like now. I'll just reduce the length a bit and change the color. You can change the color from here. Change the color. Then the fall off. If you notice the distance at which it brightens is reduced, you can tweak it here. Either you reduce it or you increase it. It's inverse for the movement. Understand? So also reduce the brightness. Those are the bits of light over there. So okay, yeah. So I have this over here, and I'll definitely not want to go through all. I'll definitely not want to go through all that stress again just to create this. So I'll just make use of the Alt button. I'll make use of the Alt button to copy and paste it. I'll just drag and drop it here. So Control C, Control V doesn't work on Lumion. Make use of Alt to duplicate something, whatever you want. So I'll just leave that over there. So I think that's all. Okay. So for the building copying, I'll just make use of something dark, a bit dark, and let's go to outdoor concrete. Let's zoom to see what it looks like. I want something clean. Okay, yeah, this is fine. So I'll just double click on it so I can tweak it from here. So just make it a bit dark. The map scale, I'll use the map scale. You notice that becomes smaller in terms of scale. That's for the texture. Just notice this texture is increasing, but now reduce. So that's for the map scale. Then I will use the glossiness, the reflectivity, the relief also, and okay, that's fine. Okay, I think that's too dark, so I'll just use. Okay, yeah, so that's fine. Okay, and for the grass you have just make use of 3D grass. Yeah, 3D grass. You have quite a number of them, but most of the time I make use of this. And I tweak it over here. All the materials, once you double click on it, it brings you to extra, features of it where you can tweak it. Most of the time you can tweak the color, the force, the gravity force, and see what it looks like. The gravity force, bending force, the grass size. I will use the grass size. I don't want it to be too too obvious. Then the length also, I will use the length a bit. Then the map scale, I don't really touch this. I just leave it the way it is. That's it. So basically it applies to all the grass I have here because I applied them as one material when I brought my model in. So yeah, that's basically it. So yeah, I'll add rope lights. I'll add lights in between this. Okay, so let me just quickly do that. We come to lights, line lights, then just drop it in between. So for example, this space is definitely not what I want. Where the light is pointing at is not what I want. So I'll just come to rotate, then I'll just make sure this, then Okay, okay. Okay. So that's where I wanted to face. My spacing I wanted to face. So you just try and make sure it's at the center. And I can reduce the length also because it's looking like it's bigger than the hole that I made available for it. So I think it's perfect that way. So I'm just going to increase the width. Just going to increase the width. So increase the width and try to centralize it. Try to centralize it away from it down. Okay. So I think I still need to increase the width a bit. So yeah, I think that's enough. Then I'll just change the color also to warm light. Then the fall off, until the fall off. I leave the brightness the way it is, and just make use of alt to copy and drag and drop. Sorry. So yeah, it might not be so obvious right now, but once it's time to render, it comes out based on the settings that we have for it. So yeah, basically that's it's gonna look like. So that's adding materials to my model. So yeah, that's all for today, and I'll see you on the next one.